Hello and welcome to a slightly delayed episode of Consoletronix, as my bad knees are playing up again, which isn't helped by the fact that every time I walk, my cock keeps smashing against them. And speaking of impressive packages, do I have an old school treat in store for you today with Captain Commando on the PlayStation 1, an arcade perfect port of the perfect arcade scrolling beat 'em up from a small company that also brought us a little known game entitled Final Fight. Capsule Computers, or Capcom as they now prefer to be known. Now it should be pointed out that this wasn't the first home release for this game. The Super Nintendo would also receive a rather neutered port, only worth checking out for the laughable box art adorning the Western releases. But what of the game itself, and why a 32-bit release for a game that even in 1998 when released would have been seen as a bit old, and probably why this game was only released in Japan. But all that aside, it still retains that sheen that age can't dull when it comes to classic arcade games of this genre. The ability to just pick up and play, wading into enemies and kicking in the heads of thugs with names like Skip and Carol. But if they don't instill the fear of God in you, perhaps the bosses might. Yup, the one major drawback of an arcade perfect port is also present here, and that's the cheap shots enemies can deliver. Something that was par the course in the era of 10p piece pinching coin ops, and not as some gamers today think that these practices were invented by Sony or EA. But what about all of you watching this video and thinking, I'd like to play this, but don't want to pay excessive eBay prices for a copy? Well, you're in luck. The game would also appear in the Capcom Classics compilation Volume 2 for both the original Xbox and PS2, alongside other notable games like Knights of the Round and 1941 among others. Captain Commando himself, while never headlining a sequel or any other game, would make a welcome return in Marvel vs Capcom. So if a bit of old school beat 'em up action is your thing, Captain Commando from Capcom is definitely worth a bash. It's fast, fun, and with a multi-tap can have 3 players simultaneously. So my name's Gray, you've been watching Consoletronix. Stay tuned for more videos looking at the weird and wonderful world of console gaming. Thanks for watching.